Hey, I'm Father Time. I'm recovering from being a bit crook, so going to do a little bit of qualifying, just a bit of a scratch around, really, more than anything else. Nothing too serious, just having a bit of a fiddle. Would look like I'm going downhill at the moment, but our camera's on a bit of a tilt, but I can't be asked fixing it at the moment. Probably doesn't make that much difference. Actually, I will go and do some oil in the car, that's for sure. Probably doesn't need it though, but I do like to get the oil done. Right, from what I know of this practice for round two at the gardens there, I think it's rainy to start with. You have to wait until the rain goes, I think, before you can actually do a decent time or anything at all. See. Right, I shall get my tablet, I think, to give the casual attire. It has rocked over a little bit too much, hasn't it? Probably okay. Baby, baby, can I see you again? Baby, if I told you the right mine. Indeed, there is something on the internet.
Good day, been a bit crook but feeling better now, so practice time.
Right. So I need to do, move the overlay position. Wonder if that's something I can do at the moment. I think I need to at least get out on track before the weather will start clearing. Load it goes. I'm on the mediums. Well, that'll be interesting. Probably not a bad practice. Bad way to practice. Get one lap done. Go and park for a while. Let a bit of the weather clear. Really isn't much point staying out in weather like this. It's going to be the same pattern all the time. A good 15 or 20 minutes before it clears, maybe longer. But I'm not doing anything else, so don't matter none. If I'm going to do mindless practice, I might as well stream it. I do need some practice here. I think doing it on mediums won't hurt. Have to wait some of this out. I think it's the only way you can get to the dry. I don't think you can just keep going, exiting and re-entering until you get a dry time. I think you do actually have to wait for the wet to go through. Dunno. I know it's a surefire method. I better go around once again. Oh, actually, I'm better off rolling the smoke, actually. That's what I'm better off doing. Rolling a smoke. Oh, actually, I should continue that, though. Because that way at least the weather keeps going. Another 30 seconds, 60 seconds save. Not that you're really saving, just let the time has to pass, but in pause, the rain doesn't move. Got to keep it going. Baby, can I see you again? a good position for the camera either. No, maybe up the top while you're practicing. It probably doesn't make much difference. That'll get in the road, won't it? Not that that's really relevant either, because you're only interested in your best time, aren't you? You can always look at the breakdown after. Should try and understand that data logger thing too. At some stage. Might be a handy tool if I understand it. Who'll stop the rain? Long as I remember. Oh, good, I do have all the tyres. Probably is important to, yeah. No, not that many. Yummy. Delicious. Probably just well off sitting in the beds. It's always the same anyway, just tiptoe around in the wet. Hello, crazy person watching. I'm just going through the wet session first at the beginning. Nothing worth seeing at the moment, that's for sure. Can't get the track dry yet. Another 10 or 15 minutes, I think, before the track dries. But I think you have to go through the wet session. I don't know of any other way to get through to the dry other than just circulate a few times or sit in the pits and wait until the rain passes. I don't think you can just keep re-entering until you get a dry, because I think it's like wet every time that you enter. So I'll go in the pits for a little bit. At the time yet before I can do any practice on the dry. And get down to about, on the medium tyres, we can get down to about 4 seconds off the fastest guy. And on the softs, down to about 2.5, 2 seconds off the fastest. Oh yeah, roller jointer. Or roll 50-50. Yeah, 50-50 sounds better. But another good stuff to begin with, though. I was a bit crook last few days. Influenza virus or some damn thing. Didn't hit me too badly though. Made me pretty lethargic for a couple of days. Haven't felt like doing anything, which is not really unusual for me, but you do know when you're down a bit though. I was. Quick check of YouTube. Move the overlay position. 10 or 15 minutes, 10 minutes or so, I guess. The weather's finally left. Well, the rain part anyway. Back warm, rain wet for a while yet, though. We can get down to any qualifying. Practice anyway. Dry practice. I think I'm going to practice on the medium, which is my normal anyway. Not doing anything unusual. I usually practice on the hardest compound. I wonder if anybody's doing, I wonder if there's any lobbies doing this race. Kind of hard to replicate the rain. Hello. Just going around until the weather clears, the rain stops. Just waiting for the track to dry, so before I can do any qualifying. Bit boring at the moment, waiting for the track to dry, but what can you do?
Feeling better.
Yeah, thanks, Fury. I see you've been putting in some times, going all right there. Yeah, I had a bit of the old flu, you know, or virus or some damn thing. I was just down for a couple of days. How's your racing been? Have you been enjoying it? Like, I've had a bit of a look at the numbers, and I don't know if you're interested or not, but 20,000 or 21,000 times for race A, 40,000 times. Yeah, well, I do love the Group 4, except I just can't stand the setup they've got for it. Is like when you've got a race that size, it's you know, like you've got that much time. You got race C, and you have there's a fair whack of time at the end of the race between races. So why wasn't there a pit stop in there? Even if you don't have to change tyres, but if you had a pit stop, a mandatory pit stop, like we've had at so many other races, you can get away from the cocksuckers. You know, like you just get around the first lap and you can pit, you know, and if you get a bit of a break, you can circulate on your own and then pit later or wherever you...
I used my very original profile and the pedals feel weird on it, so I'm not very fluid.
Ah, right. Your very original profile, right, yeah. It's kind of weird, you know, when you, we do tend to, you know, get used to things feeling a certain way. It's one thing I learned though is that there was something I call getting married to an idea. I've made the mistake in the past of finding something at the beginning of the week which I think works, and then sticking with it all week, and then figuring out later in the week that I had the wrong thing. Like I've done that with brake balance, where I've just spent the first 5 or 6 days in a week with a certain brake balance on that I settled on after the first day, and then towards the end of the week, I just for something to do, I've tried a different brake balance and suddenly did a much better time.
So, race C had a lot of rammers in it.
Yeah. Race C is, it is just, it's perfect for them because the guys get in the slipstream, and if you get on the racing line, they just dive up the inside and just run into the side of your car and use your car to get around the corner and bounce off the side of the car. And there's and the dickheads, there's a couple. It's like turn, it's turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Yeah, through turn 3, turn 4. People will just fucking bouncing off fucking walls and everything like that. No penalties at all. And the truth is that I absolutely love penalties on. I like to see as many penalties. I like them to be severe. I really like seeing penalties in racing, because otherwise these pricks just go through and they attack the corners with absolutely no fear, knowing that even if they slide off and bounce off the walls, they're still good to go, and they lose fuck all time. And they're still all up your ass, even though they're bouncing off walls on the way through, And that's just shit. Right, the weather's clearing up, but the track's still wet. I don't know if you've done any laps here or not. I've done some laps on my other account.
Yep, so true, it's not racing.
Yeah, well, in real cars, if you go into the wall, you get so much damage, that's it, you're out for the race. And these pricks are just fucking aiming for the walls. They don't care about the walls, I don't mind them doing it, don't get me wrong. It's part of the game, or blah-de-blah, whatever, and I can understand the rationale, But it just detracts from what could be a fantastic race. To my way of thinking, it should have been hards and mediums with...
I signed up as a race driver for manufacturers. The time slots will rule me out.
Ah. Right. Yeah, I'm in A for a couple of other times, and in B for one of them on the Euro Father time. But the Australian and the US one, I'm in the A section. Excuse me. Well, the track will dry out shortly. I'll go on the pits and put the mediums on. Have you done any laps here yet?
I like Dragon Gardens.
Yeah, this isn't a bad track. I have,
Not yet.
I actually, I've realised now, of course, now that the shackles are off, that I can actually talk about the other profiles I've had and other things I've done in the past now, because I've reached A grade, so I don't feel like I'm such an imposter. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm smoking a joint. This particular track, I don't know if you remember when they released the Mazda, the Mazda 3, little front wheel drive beast, which is still a beast of a car. But the Mazda 3, when it came out, we had manufacturers here which was unbelievable. And I grabbed the Mazda as soon as it came out because I always loved front wheel drive. And when the Mazda came out, I thought, oh, a new one to try. And it was like fucking super powerfully fast. As you know, everybody squealed about it after a while. And the Mazda 3 came out, and I got to have a very privileged position. I did in manufacturers that week because I happened to be pretty reasonable in the Mazda, and I had the #1 time for about 3 days straight. I had world #1, which was kind of spectacular, you know. And that was in manufacturers, which was, you know, I was in the Mazda, and it wasn't till the day before the actual race that the true matter at the time was the 650S. It was the true matter because it had been dominant for months and months and months on end. But when they brought the Mazda 3 out, it started challenging. Like, a lot of people didn't realise, but the Mazda 3 was only good on about 1/3 of all the tracks. On other tracks, like at Autopolis and places like that, it was just nowhere to be seen, even though it was supposed to be the car that was dominating Group 4. Well, it was in certain tracks, it was. But it wasn't actually... the car that was the true dominant car was the 650S, and it was good on every track. Like, all tracks it was good on. But the front-wheel drive Mazda simply wasn't good on a lot of tracks. But people whinged about it because in the weeks when it was good, it was uber dominant, and they hated it because, you know, it had so much power in a straight line. And if you could get round the bends, you were good to go, you know. Mazda was like incredible that way. Right. Oh, that's right. I gotta actually... I've just got to park all the time. So the track keeps drying out. Well, I think I can't put pause on because then the weather doesn't move on and the track doesn't dry out. Anyway, I'll get round the pits and put some mediums on, track a few times now because the track's almost completely dry. You do get a bit of a period there where you can qualify for it.
It's clearly in the dry.
Yeah, qualifying in the race it'll definitely be dry, you know, and it probably won't start wet. It might, but pounds to peanuts, the weather pattern you see here will be the only weather pattern, because this is what they did last time, it was boring as shit, and it'll be just this one weather pattern, and it'll be just the same. There's be fuck all variety in it, and it'll just be this one. And some races it'll start right at the beginning, and other races obviously they'll put it in the other section. But it'll be the same weather pattern. It'll look like this, it'll last this amount of time, the whole 9 yards. It'll just be a carbon copy. But I think quali will all be in the dry on softs, you know. But it would be fabulous if it was like quali and fucking torrential rain. Like, that'd be fine. It's the same for everybody. Anyway, I'm going to get around the pits and put some mediums on. It's time to do some laps. The track's drying out now. mediums. Do some medium laps first. For me, I like using mediums. I like using the harder compound to practice. Like if it comes out and the races come out, I just never ever put the softest, whatever the softer compound is, it doesn't get a look. I always go straight for the hardest compound. And I practice it almost exclusively on the hardest compound. I actually don't like soft tyres all that much. I never seem to feel very comfortable on them. I know which seems a bit ridiculous, but I just never ever feel really comfortable on them. Track's just about completely dry. Not yet, but nearly. We've got to figure out what sort of times we can get on mediums. Yeah, tiny bit of moisture still on the track, but get a few laps now. Shit. Fuck, that's going to be dangerous. A lot of spin outs there. Get a bit of a baseline on the medium tyres. Give yourself an idea what you can get out of mediums, I guess. wept. That's a little better. Form hasn't been very good. Oh, that might be better. I mean, a better launch anyway.
Do you try to go over sausage curves?
Yeah, I try to stay the fuck off them. Generally. You know, they introduce so much instability into the car. But there are places where you have to do it, like the car bottoms out if you go anywhere near the sausages. I think, well, I don't know, being group 3 or something, I don't know, maybe that's got something to do with it. Fuck, I missed it there. Yeah, in this section up here, not this corner, but the one after. Here, in this here, you can't really do much in the way of it, curb hopping. You can do it, but this here, oh man, it's fucking brutal, that thing is. It's as slippery as shit. I try to avoid getting up on top of it if I can, but you don't have much choice. It's all right. It's a lot better on softs, of course. Grip's a little better. Come on, dickhead. Focus. Oh, you fucking numbnuts. You numbnuts. Hell, I nearly pressed retry. Like, that is a fatal mistake. You hit retry and it goes right back and you have to start the whole rain cycle again and have to go through the 20, 25-minute rain cycle before you get a dry track again. Yeah, you can't press retry. You can just press continue. And I'm going to continue to press it after I roll this smoke. Oh, I've got to have another sip of the urine specimen. It does look like beer. Excuse me. But it's actually cider with a rum chaser in it. I'm only going to have one or two though. Don't want to be intoxicated. This is more pure for drinking pleasure. What would you do with the drunken sailor? What would you do? Don't press retry. Don't press retry. Just got to cop the crash and go all the way around. At least it's a nice, bright, sunny day. What time did I get? 33.4. 33.4. It's probably not too bad on medium. 33.4. I think they're doing 29s, aren't they? Something like that. On the softs. Temporary exposure's up a little too high too. Oh, don't press retry.
Gotta go. Enjoy manufacturers.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's on tomorrow, of course. You know, it's on, not on for a while, but all right. Hey, thanks for dropping in, man. Like, I'm sure you dropped a like and all that thing. I appreciate it. Thanks for the little bit of view time. That was worth it. I hope you have a good week too, my friend. All right, we'll see what we can do on mediums anyway.
My pleasure.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think we'll give it a blast. We'll do a few laps on mediums just to sort of like establish a time, you know. Like the soft tyres covers up so much. I actually much prefer practicing on the harder compound than the soft. I always feel like I've accomplished more if I do it on the harder compound. I find it more gratifying than smashing out a time on the softs. More of a challenge. Trying to keep up with the fastest guy in the world on softs and you're on medium. And every time you keep even a little bit close to him, you feel fucking good. All right, let's go for him now. This should be a decent lap, not this lap, but the next one. Alright, that's a good start. That's the start I need. Nice blue arrow up. We've got to time this first corner a little bit better. Just a wee bit better. That was alright, that was solid. Fuck. That is gonna be fucking murder. That sausage is gonna be hell on earth. For every man his dog. Fuck, there's gonna be some damage early. So many cars are gonna crash in that section. Oh, that is poor. That is so poor. Come on, fucking knobhead. That's such poor driving. I suppose having the smoke probably didn't help. All right. Oh, that's it. Can't hit retry though. Cannot hit retry. Because if you hit retry at all, you have to go through the whole range session. So you just have to put up with going round again with a complete dead lap. Oh well, gives me time to finish my smoke. Oh, and have a drink. The only important thing now is just to get a good launch to start the lap, the next lap that is. Not much point wasting effort trying to be fast now. Although it is practice, I guess, but I can't be fucking arsed. But this is going to be really tough, this just through here, this section. This bit right here. I wonder how the car would respond to it. Because I have been able to do it. I have been able to go over them like that many times in the past. I used to drive the Audi TT through there a lot. And I used to straddle all the sausages. And, worked perfectly fine in the Audi, but these cars seem a bit lower and they seem to bottom out because I can hear the sound effects you can hear it when the under tray hits. Oh, I gotta check my wheel settings too. I got no idea that I might have a dickhead setting on. I think I was trying something else. No, everything looks right. No, nothing wrong with any of that. No, that's all right. Actually feels though I could probably cop a bit more too. And don't hit retry. The only thing that matters is the launch. Don't go in too fast. Nice and slow in. Start the lap. Nice and wide. Missed that by a long way. All right, next, guide lap, I suppose. Got to put down a guide lap. Although I could surprise myself and do a better job here than I have been doing. Nah, too much to ask for. Although, extra force feedback, I can really feel that. Well, now I haven't got a smoke in my hand, I suppose it might be a little better. Oh, it's a fairly good launch. How about you actually made the corner this time, dickwad? This one. Make this one for once. Remember, it's mediums, not softs. Oh, that was weak. Fuck, that was weak. Deserved to lose all of the time. That was fucking... It's one of those classic does your husband drive too. Fucking hell, it was weak. Just so slow on the uptake there. My reaction time was so off. Come on, dickhead, this time. Not bad. Here. Yeah, here. This is the worst bit. You're no chance. Yeah, no chance when you get up there, Dick. That was bloody ordinary. Very poor. Very, 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 very poor. Try a bit more brake balance to the rear. Picked up some of the time. That's a little better. $32.6. Probably pretty reasonable on mediums, I guess. Right. Um, if I exit, I'm going to end up going through the rain cycle again. I would like to know where 32.6 sits. I don't think there's any way I can do it other than go through the rain cycle again. I know what I'll do. Forgive me, I'm going to mull up. I haven't got any more smoko. Well, I have, but I haven't got any prepared. So give me a moment or two while I mull up. There'll be um, there'll be some banging and crashing, some noise and that sort of stuff, but it won't last very long. There might be a bit of wind noise too. Oh, I can take the headphones off. No, see what I'm doing. Good. We'll be able to hear it though. The ritual tray has been restocked. Another 90 seconds and I'll be back. Must now prepare an offering. Oh, Father, you're letting the team down. Not setting much of an example. Right, I'm just being me, I guess. Even if I wasn't streaming, this is probably what I'd be doing. Just this way, too. I don't mind time trialing either. I just don't normally do it in a stream situation. It's kind of self-indulgent. It's all about me. 32.6. All right, we'll find out. We'll do the wet cycle again. Fuck it, I don't care. I want to know. Where does 32.6 sit? Well, that was the best lap too. 6.621. 32.6. Shit, 32.6 on the mediums. Actually not too shabby. 1400, 32.6. What is the fastest? 29.5. Yeah, it's about 3 seconds off the fastest guy. All right. Okay. Track will be wet again. All right, back through the hole. So anybody who's watching, you have to go through this rain cycle. It's the only way you can get around to doing a dry quali time. And there isn't anything else for it but just to... You got to do a few laps. You got to do a couple of laps and then you can go and sit in the pits. So I'll probably just cruise around, smoke this joint. And till the rain goes. It's always the same pattern. So whatever you do, when you've gone through the wet thing, don't hit retry. It means you have to go right back. But 32.6 is 3 seconds off the fastest guy in the world, and that's on medium. So that's reasonable. I think we should be able to take another second off that on softs. So that'll put us around about 2 seconds off the fastest guy in the world, which will be okay. That'll be, it'll be a solid place, but of course, you just don't know what the race is going to be like, and I imagine that everybody will just qualify on softs. It'll be dry to qualify, and then you'll have to check the rain thing, and it'll be this rain pattern. It won't be any other one. It'll be this exact same one, and there'll only be one of them, and it'll either be there or it won't at the beginning. I hope they put some variety into it, rather than every single one of these races being identical in every server, in every situation. It's all just the same. There's no real variety in things. Because I think they put some minimal effort into some of these things too at times. Like race C this week. That's like the ultimate minimum effort that you can put into something. This race C this week. Like great track, great cars. Why the hell isn't there a pit stop in there so you can, so when you get through the first lap, and you got these cock wombles trying to fucking ram into everything. You can jump into the pits, come out, free space in front of you, free space behind you. Then you can circulate, get a whole bunch of laps done in nice and rhythmic without having any fucking scuzzball, you know, just diving into the side of your car, which is what's ruining that race. And it's not popular this week. Group 4 is a fabulous group and people love Group 4. But this week they just don't like that race. It's only been 40,000 times put down for race C, and there's been 60,000 times put down for race B. People are just going to race B because they just don't, they're just not a fan, you know, they're just not a fan of race B the way it's set up. Race C rather. Great track, but of course, all-wheel drives being rewarded yet again. Things like the G70 and obviously the 155, which hasn't really been cited much lately, but it's back in the mix again, being a proper little pain in the arse like it always has been. Little red chainsaw, little butterbox. I know they're an icon car and everything, but geez, they're not very good looking. They're not like sleek and stylish and all that. They are all business, but it actually looks a little different. Oh no, it's the same one. This looks a little different, I'm sure of it. Oh no, the circle, that big circle is forming. That clear patch there that apparently we're coming into. Yeah, that forms. Yeah, that's normal, that's right. No, it's the same one. I thought it looked a little different, but then again, I'm a little different, so. What I'm going to do when the track dries up is I'll do 2 or 3 laps to get back to rhythm on the mediums, and then I'll put the softs on and try and get as low a time as possible. But obviously nothing's going to happen until the track dries out, and that's not going to be for another 10 minutes. So apologies to anybody watching, but I don't see any other way of getting around to doing the qualifying on softs other than going through this rain period. Although I'm not going to keep driving around all the time, I'm just going to pull up in the pits for a while and smoke this joint and drink a little of my cider. I apologise, but I have to spend a little time in here because there's no point going around. Track is not going to clear for another 10 minutes. I wouldn't watch if I were you guys. I'd find something else to do. Otherwise, you're just watching an old fella smoking joints and drinking cider, talking shit. He needs some milk. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, I suppose actually, I might as well put intermediates on and just vlog for a while. It's gotta be more interesting than sitting in the pits. Oh shit. Sorry guys if you're watching, but we have to go through the wet period. before any qualifying gets done, any real practice gets done. Because the only way I see that you have to wait until this shit clears, or else you just can't get a shot at doing any qualifying. Well, as far as I can tell, I don't think there's any way to keep entering until you get a dry day. I don't think it actually happens. I think it's wet all the time, every time. But it has been every time I've tried it. And it was previously, one at Red Bull, a little while ago at Red Bull. At the beginning, you just had to go through the rain. You just had to wait. It took 45 minutes for the rain to clear at Red Bull.
How's it going today?
Hey, g'day, Aaron. How you doing? Oh, I'm going great, mate. I'm just, I've been crooked the last couple of days. Virus or a flu or whatever. So I've had a few days off, and I decided that I would, get a little bit of practice in for this. But you have to, like I say, it's one of those horrible things where you just have to go through the wet patch, or sleep in the wet patch. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. But the only reason I'm going around is because there's people watching. Otherwise, I'd just sit in the pits and let the rain go. But then it'd be just you guys watching some old guy smoking joints and drinking shit, talking shit and drinking, well, both. Drinking shit and talking shit. So I thought I might as well go around, even if it's just on the medium. I know it's good practice and everything, but I actually feel pretty comfortable in the wet. Well, you wouldn't know it to look at it, but I'd probably have a couple of, a couple like that, a couple of traction control on, that sort of shit.
I popped in and saw you partying the other day, face with tears of joy.
Oh yeah, I was fucking smashed chappers. Yeah, I was, it's not that I do it very often, like hardly ever, to be honest. That's I think it was like about the third or fourth time.
Or wet the whole time?
No, it'll, well, my past experience with these things tells me what'll happen is, for qualifying, it's going to fine up in about 10 minutes time. The track will start drying out, and then we can put mediums and softs on and all that sort of thing, and it'll actually become reasonably bright, not sunny, but reasonably. Well, it'll be sunny for a couple of laps, and then it'll start going overcast again. But qualifying, no doubt, will be on soft tyres. It'll be dry for quali, and then we'll probably, almost certainly get this exact same weather pattern. So I expect that we'll get the exact same weather pattern that you're seeing here. I expect we'll get that. It's too wet for me, intermediate. It's supposed to be on wet tyres. But this, when rain goes over the second bar, but it will fine up a bit shortly, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's never going to work. Oi, and you can't, whatever you do, don't hit retry. Doesn't matter how much damage you got, how bad the crash is going to be. You just have to wear it and go all the way around again, start again. But I actually can just stop here for a second. I will put the weather pattern. Oh, not that one. This people can see, right. Here's the weather pattern bullshit going on. And it's moving from, as you see it, it's moving from the left to the right. So that'll clear up in about, 7 or 8 minutes. It'll get into the dry area. And then it's another 5-7 minutes after that. So I would expect you guys just to go somewhere else, until the track dries out. unless you want to watch somebody trying to. It's pointless times, like the times would be pointless because they're on intermediates or wets and everything. The times won't be very fascinating or fast. But in about 12, 15 minutes time, the times will be a lot quicker. And we'll get within a couple of seconds of the fastest guy. Should get 31 into the 31 somewhere. Reasonably. 31 and a half, something like that. Should be able to take about a second off that one, that time there, the 132.6, because that's on mediums. So we should be able to take a bit more off there. Christ, if I can't take any more off, what am I doing with my tobacco? I've done some. Oh, that's right.
Hope you felt okay after the last Manufacture Cup races faced with tears of joy.
Oh, fuck yeah, Ricky, I was going fucking magic, wasn't I? Like, but the wonderful thing about it is that being drunk and crazy and irresponsible, anyone can do it. And it looks silly when you're doing it from the outside, but while you're doing it, it's a lot of fun. And I don't think I said anything terribly that I really regret saying, oh, well, I'm not sure. I didn't watch it because I was too embarrassed, a bit cringy. But I can imagine I was a fucking real treat. Man, oh man. Because I don't like me when I'm pissed. So I wouldn't blame anybody else for not liking it either. Like I was expecting like 15, 20 people to unsub sort of thing.
Are you the man, father?
Yeah, I am what I am, I guess. But it has always been this way for me in my life. Pretty much.
Haha, you were okay. You didn't say nothing wrong.
Oh, thanks. So that means now I might go and watch the last half hour to see when I was like completely blit. Like, but then again, of course, the little voice inside my head went, righto, mate. Right, I think you've had enough. That's time now. Last drinks. Yeah, little voice inside my head just said, righto, buddy. Time to pull the pin. I was glad I did, But the funny thing was, I got a little bit hungover later on, and then I'd been feeling a bit seedy leading up to it. Even before I'd had a few drinks, I was feeling a bit seedy. So I think I had a bit of a virus coming on. So it all sort of like...
You were struggling to keep the car on the track a little, haha.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, the thing was, if you really want to know, there's a conversation, I can still remember it in my head, vaguely, most of the details. And the conversation going on inside my head, when you have that inner dialogue or whatever your inner monologue, it's dialogue if you're a bit schizo, I guess. But anyway, when you have that conversation in your head there, and I was saying to myself, look, this isn't that fucking hard, because it didn't feel hard. But the trouble is that my coordination was so gone that I couldn't connect each assignment. I just couldn't get things connected because I was drunk, the whole standard reason, And it was kind of frustrating because part of my brain was completely sober while we were doing that, One part was, and actually it was the part that was in charge later on, and said, right, old mate, get off, But we'll go around and put some mediums on. And but like you can see on the rain gauge over on the left there's still like heaps of moisture on there, even though the track's cleared up on the screen.
In manufacturing cup.
Oh, I have no doubt you would too, because you're in good form too. You know, like it was such a wonderful. It was a good race. I've always felt that Road Atlanta is sort of like kind of just a little bit small a track for Group 3. You know, like there just isn't, like it isn't wide enough in places, like there's hardly any real places to overtake without contact and all that sort of thing. And because I'm kind of constricted, even though I'd been drinking, I was still aware that I was there's a certain standard that I have to maintain on this channel. I don't mean so much in behaviour, but in driver behaviour, you know. So it was kind of, even though I was drunk, that part of my brain was saying, make sure you don't let the bad guy out, you know. Yeah, because I could be way more aggressive and all that sort of rubbish.
Yeah, you said you didn't want to ruin anyone's race.
Oh yeah. No worries. I absolutely don't ever want to ruin other people's races. It's people are entitled to have fun and enjoy it, and some old drunk shouldn't be the cause of. Yeah, we're still very wet. Oh, yeah, I put mediums on, right, that's fair enough. It doesn't matter, I'm still just waiting for the track to dry out, so it makes no difference. Well, nothing can happen whilst ever there's anything on that rain gauge over in the corner there.
9,279, what DR are you?
On this account, I think this is the USA account. Yeah, this one's about 20% A, I guess, something like that. The Australian one was about the same, but I managed to drink that away and get back to B grade. But, you know, like, it's like a bit of an aberration. We'll get that one sorted out when the new races come out. Oh, that's actually something too I was thinking, was that I don't think there'll be a Group 4 next week. I think they'll make race C like Group 2, Group 1, Group 2, something like that, and then they'll make race B Group 3, and Group 4 will get it in the neck, because that's what usually happens when they put Group 1 or Group 2 on. And you know, it's been a while since we've seen any Group 1 or Group 2s around, so whenever they hit, Group 4 always gets dropped. You know, it just seems to follow that way every time. It's the first one to get dropped. So it might be a while before my preferred option. Actually, race B is all right this week. But it's so, we've done it so many times before, it's just so tediously the same, you know. Like race C had so much potential, like, because the track's only been used once before, and that was in those little Formula cars or whatever it was. So there was a chance to use that track properly, but I just said, nah, I'm not going to. Have I got traction control on? Oh yeah, I've got some. Oh yeah, well that's because I got mediums on. Oh, what's happening with the still got water on the rain gauge. Oh, I got mediums on, that's right, yeah.
I think I set my time on intermediate tyres on this track.
Yeah, what time did you set? Ricky, what sort of time have you got? Jesus, you cannot touch the throttle at all. Like, just chill, bro. Chill. Chill the fuck down until the track dries out. No rush. Fucking thing's not going anywhere. Can't do anything until the rain gauge over there just says you're good to go. Which will probably mean that I'll get a few minutes in here before I need to do anything. Because it actually dries out reasonably quickly, but you just got to keep going that rain gauge thing there. Even though it clears up on the, you know, like on your weather map, it clears up until like there's just nothing for allegedly like 50 to 70 kilometres. Because it's saying like it's 75 kilometres away at the moment. Like, and there's fuck all
Just
sun.
got home from work. We'll turn on PlayStation in a moment and have a look at my time.
Roger, Roger. How was work today? Another brilliant day at the office? Save a few lives? Make someone else's day wonderful?
Two jobs BS.
2 jobs. Oh, yuck. You go to 2 different places to work. Yeah, I remember work. Oh, I didn't like it. I couldn't see any reason why you'd want to do it, but of course they wouldn't give me any money otherwise, so I guess I was obligated. Anyway, we're getting close though. That water gauge is coming down. Another 5 minutes and it'll be completely clean and gone. Then we'll be finally able to do some times. It reckons the weather is now 80 kilometres from us. That's if we're taking each one of those grids as a 50. So it's 80 to 90 kilometres away from us already, and yet it's still got wet track. We got wet patches. And I'm only driving it around because...
Dominoes for my second job, rolling on the floor laughing.
Ah! Yeah, I was, like, be it ever so humbled, you know? Like, I only had a really good, well-paying job at in the final 15 years, final 14 years, I had a good paying, high paying job. So it was only late in life. So, in all the years through from the beginning when I started work, 15, 16 I was, when I started. From the age of 16 through to 48, 49, I just had really, really low paying blue collar jobs. Like I was a bus driver, and I drove in the capital city, I did regular route work, from the suburbs into the city and back out to the suburbs and all that sort of stuff. Plus, inner city shit, in a capital city type thing. So, kind of a busy job. And I did that for years. And I was a single father. So, I paid off the house and sent the kid to school, like mid-tier school, which is the most I could afford, like a private school, but like, wasn't like the top, the top schools at all. But it was actually pretty damn good school, like it was second tier. So I always had those sort of jobs, where it just making ends meet type thing. Wasn't until later on things got real fucking easy, I'll tell you that. My kid had already left home and everything, my son, and he was already doing well. Oh no, not when I first got the job, but when I started making some real cash, which was really great fun towards the end. Because my job sort of like, I like had, it was just like, just about the easiest fucking job in the world. And they paid me a fortune for doing it. All I had to do was sit up the front of the train and just pull a couple of levers, press a couple of buttons, basic shit like that, and just do the driving bit. And it was like, to be honest, a lot of it was even easier than driving a car sometimes. You know, the trains were enormous, you know, like 40,000 tons and 6 engines and all that sort of stuff. But it was a great job because all I used to do was, because the cab is so big, you've got a fridge and a stove and stereo system and, you know, and you can just relax. It's sort of like a small apartment. And when you get in there, you can just set it up as you want. Nobody's there, and you don't have to work with anybody for the whole day. Like, you can not actually see anybody else for 10, 11 hours. So it's quite comfortable place to work where you just get into the room, get up onto the locomotive, rip off your shirt, sit there in your Reg Grundies if you want, put on a pair of thongs or flip-flops, just totally relax, get yourself a big coffee, some chocolate biscuits, put on some pumping music, and just sit up the front of this fucking gigantic monster train. And like, didn't even really, it's kind of funny, you know, because I could spend the whole shift and barely notice anything more than just the cab area. Like, you didn't spend much time worrying about the train, you know, because you had various sensors and, you know, like you had a big computer in front, you know, with heaps of shit on it. And on the track itself, everywhere there was like all these different sensors everywhere, and they would give you just, you know, updates and readings on the healthier train and stuff like that. So most of the time everything ran pretty well, and I was just one of those guys that was always lucky. Like nothing fucking bad ever happened to me. You know, it used to happen to the other guys. One of the things that used to happen was, see, these trains are so enormously heavy, and you're going over these undulating terrain. And if you can imagine what like a caterpillar moving, like those little caterpillars as they hop up and down like that. Well, because the train is to like, you know, almost 2 miles long, mile and a half long or more, mile and 3/4 long. Because the train's so long, the front of the train can be going up over something, and the back of the train can be coming down something, and in the middle there can be a hump, you know. So you're basically draped over the terrain. And as you go along, if you're not careful, which I guess is what they were paying me for, was the ability to keep the train from breaking into two little trains. Well, they're not little because they'd still be two fucking big trains. But so breaking trains was a no-no, especially, yeah, like if it was driver error, which was like in about 90% of the cases, it was driver error that the train got broken. The driver made a mistake. I didn't make too many mistakes, and when I did, I didn't snap the train. So I was basically just fucking lucky. So I got to sit up the front of the train, on my own.
Bro, sound interesting.
Oh, it was great. You know, like you can actually see the trains that I drove anytime you like. You can just get on YouTube and look for Rio Tinto trains, you know, West Australia in the Pilbara. And there's heaps of them. If you look for autonomous trains, yeah, autonomous, yeah, because in the last year and a half, that I was working over there in the mines, I hardly ever drove any trains. The robots drove all the trains. What happened though was that even though, see, it's so remote that there's nobody anywhere near, and the only person who can move a train like that is somebody who knows how to move a fucking train that size. So they had to keep a bunch of us train drivers when they replaced us with R2-D2 and C3PO. So, and it took them like about 7 years to get the technology in, because I actually ended up working them. Well, actually, I think it took 10 or 11 years. Something like, 10 or 11 years. Because that was how I got the job in the first place. I was, all right, here we go. All right, we can get going. All right, stop talking shit. They've turned on the weather. Fighting lap. Yep, pretty bloody awful. Oh shit, this is gonna be, that's gonna be fucking hell on earth. That is gonna be so hard. Oh, don't press retry, fuck. Right, 34.8. That was pretty bloody awful, the first lap. This one won't be any better, of course. Let's nail it. Actually, turn the little bit in the middle is really tough. Like the first corner's pretty basic, and even this one's not bad, but this part here. It's going to be a mountain to climb for a lot of people. That is not an easy section of track there. Struggling a bit. Form is not good. Better. That's better. Dick. Fucking commit, fuckwit. Too hesitant. Pretty weak. Very weak finish. Got to be better through here. Yeah. Suddenly got very bright. Fucking fell off. Fell off the apex. Damn. If you'd done that last time, would have been better. One more, and then go and put the softs on. turns out you can drive across them. A bit surprising. Nuts. Oh, please don't be as weak a finish as last time. It was terrible here. Yeah. Had the lift. And didn't. Oh, shit, I should have went in and put bloody softs on. Damn. Alright, just toddle around there and put the socks on. What was it, 33.2? Yeah, there was heaps of time lost there, so yeah. Somewhere in the mid-32s seems reasonable for the mediums. Very much a rhythm thing, this track. Spacing out the gears. That's what it'll actually all just be down to in the end. If you do enough laps, it'll just become automatic. Yeah. I got a roll to smoke. Sorry. Oh, mouthful of alcohol. Actually, several. Several mouthfuls of alcohol. Oh, man. Keep forgetting it's such a big glass, so I guess that's a lot of alcohol. Even that small amount there was probably a fair bit. It's hard cider with a couple of fingers of rum in the glass with ice. Well, what did have ice at the time, so. Now we've got softs on. Don't think it's going to make it all suddenly easy. Doesn't work that way. Actually, temporary exposure could go down a bit. It suddenly became very bright when it cleared up. Don't hit retry. Oh, it makes that corner a little easier. This turn in here, I've been struggling a bit with this turn in just here. Like taking like 5 bites at the cherry, which is really just really poor driving. You should just, you know, pick your line and go for it. That's how it's supposed to be. But like, I've been doing this accelerator pumping shit, you know, because I haven't picked the line correctly. Anyway, softs are good. They're certainly going to make this bit a little easier. The exit there, because on mediums that was quite difficult. It should stick on a little better with the old softies. What is that car actually? I forgot to actually look to see what the fastest car is. I'm chasing it and I don't even know what it is. I still don't, by the way. I'm going to have to run into the fucking thing to find out. Alright, pay attention, dickwad. I can't identify the car. I don't know what it is. Oh, a bit of four-wheel drive in there, eh? Oh, I'm going to have to do better than that. Right. Try and get it right this time. Shouldn't be that fucking hard. Gee, whip, that is a hard section, man. Or else I'm just fucking too hunky. Just a hard section. Not very committed, or should be committed, to an institution for the criminally insane. Oh, fuck, that's horrible. 32, oh my God, that's awful. I need vast improvement. I missed a braking point. Good work, dumbass. Anything but rhythmic. Like we wouldn't want any rhythm, would we? Oh, beautiful work. Misses it again. Oh, maybe next time. Man, that's shit. Mm, that was a mountain of shit. Come on, let's fucking go. Get after it. Oh, steer in, steer in. That's right, I remember. I remember. Steer in. A long way in. Beautiful. Nice and balanced. Oh, that's right. I remember before I actually drove over that sausage. I got to try that next time. Yeah, I can drive over that sausage, can't I? Oh, yuck. Oh, again. Again and again and again. I keep missing it. That's so fucking weak. Mm. All right, you're going to have to wear it. But you know what you're going to do? You're going to get yourself a drink. Right. I'm going to get myself a drink. I apologise. Um, it'll take about 90 seconds. I decided to have rum instead. Cider's all right, but it wasn't as good a cider as the other brand I'd bought. So, Bundaberg, a red rum, an Australian red rum. And Bundaberg is north of here, but not by a long way, maybe a couple of 100 miles. And the ever faithful swizzle stick that elderly men always use, the glasses. Oh, cheers. Mm. Oh, glorious. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to wear glasses too. Do have them. See a bit better now. Where am
I like gin.
I like gin. I I actually tried it quite a few times and never
GD,
seemed to
always
take
enjoy
to
your content. Thanks
it.
for your work, sorting in and outs of second race. Cheers.
Thank you, Murray. Um, I recognise the name. I don't know if you've been here before, but thank you. Very kind words. Um, Makes me want to toast you. Appreciate you dropping in, man. Oh, I should look on the tablet because I really never have any idea if anybody's watching or not, and I can sort of like just wander off thinking or not thinking or whatever. But there are people watching, so righto, guys. Now I know that you're watching. I have to make a better effort. Right. Um, Forgive me. I Seeing I am stopped at the moment. I will just roll this, but we have enough time here to so, well, basically, as soon as I get sorted, I can put my head down and try and knock out some decent laps on the softs. See if I can. 32.2 is not very good. It should be in the 31s for sure. Because like we were 32.6 with mediums, so clearly I'm driving like a dog, and I might have a little fiddle around with the controller settings until um, I've got to get it so that it hurts, but not a lot. Got to hurt my hands a bit. I need the force feedback to be pretty strong. I think it's, it could be down to the fact that I'm quite old and I don't have the sensitivity. Because guys like me, we didn't do sensitivity training. Right. Try and focus for a few laps. I'm actually not very used to people watching qualifying. It's something I don't do on the channel. But I did sort of like write down that it was sort of like practice the manufacturers just and in some ways I'm actually a bit pissed off at the races and I'm kind of avoiding them a bit, to be honest. Not that I give a shit about the DR and all that, it's just that race B is, kind of same old boring shit that we've been doing for ages. And race C, God knows I love it. I love the cars, I love Group 4, the whole nine thing, but I'm really fucking over the lack of, what do you call it, imagination that they show with that, there should be a pit stop, you should be able to get away from the grubby, dirty shit drivers and because I'm Father Time and on this channel, I'm not going to indulge in the retaliatory, angry bullshit. But it isn't to say that I can't do it, and I haven't done it in the past. I fucking have. I've been not dirty, but I mean really aggressive, like how a lot of them are, but not. It's actually kind of funny. I've gone back. This channel has got me to think about how I drove on all my other accounts, and I have a fuck ton of other accounts. I mean a literal fuck ton of accounts. And I went back and I looked through all of the accounts I still have, still the active ones, and the 6 or 7 accounts that I've deleted over the last 2 years. And I looked at all the stats because I kept the stats from the other accounts. I've got 3 PlayStations. So if you've got 3 PlayStations, you can have 5 per PlayStation. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar to work out how many accounts you could possibly have. And all right, why does somebody have 3 PlayStations? And why so many accounts? All right, okay. I should address that. In my opinion, it doesn't matter a shit how many accounts somebody has when you think of the analogy of the guy who owns a house with 100 bedrooms. How many fucking beds can he sleep in? Right, 1. So even if you've got 100 accounts, you can only race one at a time. So it makes no damn difference. You're racing the exact same amount of accounts or times or whatever as anybody else. So it doesn't matter how many accounts somebody's got. All right. Okay, I'm just addressing that because I've been asked that before. Why so many accounts, man? Well, there actually is a reason. And the reason's simple. At the beginning, I had my Australian account. Then I met somebody and they said, oh, you should have an account in America. So after a long time, I finally got one in America. And of course, you should have one in Europe. So that's 3 profiles, right? On your first PlayStation. Right, okay. So what happens is this. I start to go a bit of all right. And I realise that there are times when I don't really want to sacrifice the account, that I'd rather have a rubbish account. Because some weeks suck balls. And I didn't want to ruin the account that I built, each one of those accounts. Because they're all going okay. I need to turn, now it's gotten fucking dark again. Those accounts were all going okay, right? So I've got 3 accounts. This is the PlayStation number 1. So I say to myself, oh, I've got 2 more slots. I can make a second account for the Australian one and a second account for the American one. Well, that works out quite well. On the weeks when I don't really want to do the races, I race on the junk accounts a bit. But it turns out that I end up making each one A plus. So I've got an Australian A plus, European A plus, and an American A plus. And I don't want to jeopardise them. They're only barely just made A plus, so not spectacular in any way at all. They're just barely A plus, kind of bit of white on them. So I get them, and the other 2, I'm using the dummy accounts. And I think, shit, I want another dummy account for Europe. So I go and buy another PlayStation. Yeah, all right. I know it sounds a bit extravagant, but I did. So now I've got 6 accounts, 3 senior, 3 junior. And well, Then you've got 4 slots available. And you think, well, could have some fun accounts, like a C grade account and a B grade surfing accounts. And anyway, so that's what I do. So I end up making a few funny accounts. But the trouble is I can't help myself. And so what do I end up doing? I end up trying on every fucking account. Before you know it, I've ended up with a whole bunch of very, 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 very bloody healthy accounts with a whole bunch of A plus and bullshit. So I've got all these A plus accounts and A accounts, and they're all floating around there doing nothing. Like, as I say, you can only do one at any given time, so it doesn't affect anybody else. Because while you're doing one, you're not doing the others. So it doesn't make any difference. You can only race one race at a time, one account. So it doesn't matter how many accounts I've got, So I ended up making a whole bunch of accounts. But then I figure after talking with a friend, particularly a guy in America, he says, and we're talking about doing a channel, which is this one, and I was talking about it like 12 months ago. And I thought, well, I should have at least decent equipment. So I went and bought a PS5 Pro. Of course, it's got 5 slots on it. Anyway, the rest is history. So you end up just making too many accounts. But I can only race one at any given time. So it doesn't matter if I had 700 accounts. That's the way I sort of like to look at it. Can't possibly be rain reappearing, can there? Together and it might work out all right. Not this lap, but some stage shortly. All right.
Mellow.
Hey Warhawk, how you doing, my friend? Frequently asked questions. I like that though. FAQ. How you doing?
Doing all right, taking it easy right now.
Yeah, I'm basically doing the same thing, just chilling. It's just a bit of practice for the nation. Manufacturers rather. The more I do now, the better it'll be. And I will need to try and regain some DR, so particularly on the Australian one, after my drunken escapades the other night.
With the current Manu Cup, probably plan of taking part at Deep Forest and Watkins Glen.
Right, yeah. I'm definitely be doing Watkins. Oh my God, Watkins and I are really close friends. In Group 3 too, even. It's hard to believe, but I'm actually competent there. Not brilliant, just competent. But I can't believe there's actually weather coming again. Wow, I haven't actually done it this long, this qualifying stuff. So you get a bit of dry weather for a while. Wait
I'm
for
a
me,
twist
you
about an hour
fucker.
from Watkins Glen.
Oh, in real life. What a fabulous circuit, too. I was just waffling on a few seconds ago about how I ended up with, all these extra accounts but that Watkins Glen was one of the three tracks that made everything possible. It was where I got my first A plus. It was just
Attended a NASCAR Cup
it's
race
just a
there in
great.
2007.
Oh, you went there in NASCAR in 2007. 2007, 15 years ago. Were there any Aussie drivers? Or was that a fair bit later? Because you had Marcus Ambrose over there. Oh, look, it actually, the weather looks like it's closing in again on this. Oh, bullshit. Is that actually going to happen? Is it going to rain again? I thought they'd give you, once the rain went away and you'd waited patiently for your
Marcus
opportunity.
Ambrose in NASCAR was in there around that time.
Yeah, he's quite incredible. He was. I actually met him. He was quite an incredible driver, But it might have been just a fraction late when he went over there. Yeah, oh, bullshit. Bullshit. It's actually going to rain again. Oh, fucking can't believe. Wow, can't believe that. How long for? All right, it's going to be enough time for me to go. I'm just going to go to the pit. There isn't any point. Hey guys, look, don't keep watching. I'm just going to sit in the pits for a little while. I can tell you everything I fucking know if you want, but I wouldn't watch. I would just fuck him and just go somewhere else and watch something else because I'm just going to sit around in the pit, smoke a joint, talk shit, drink some alcohol. I'm not going to do anything interesting. And it's not fascinating, and I'm not handsome or good to look at, so I couldn't see any reason why anybody would want to fucking hang around. Because if it's going to rain, I can't chase lap times or anything like that. I have to wait for this rain band to go through, the track to dry up, and then I can chase again. But my time sucked balls. 32.2. I should be in the 31, so I probably need a break anyway, so. But I won't put you through it, guys, there's no point watching me doing shit like going around here when it's rainy on the track. There's just no point. I'll just gotta wait till this rain band goes and the track clears up. So my apologies, but I guess it's the nature of manufacturing practice. I suppose here's the other thing. I could go and have a look for a lobby and see if people are doing, if there's lobbies going or something. I suppose I could do that. I don't know if that would be smart or not, but I basically got to just wait for the rain band to go before I can go and do any more laps. There just isn't any point trying to do anything other. So. Yeah, Marcus Ambrose is it was a really, really good. He was like Shane Van Gisberg, but Gisberg is younger. But Marcus Ambrose was sort of like that good. And if he had been over there like 10 years before, especially on your road courses over in America there, the grounding that they get in Australia in our V8 racing on various courses, sort of like made it quite possible for Australian drivers and New Zealand drivers to go over to America and make a big impression, especially on the road courses, because they actually were that much better than the American drivers. There was a massive gap and the American drivers, even though you always hear the commentators say, and we have 22 of the world's greatest drivers. And you're going, no, man, you're not real. Yeah, they're okay. But like, come on, man. They're not the greatest drivers in the world to ever exist. Like, seriously. Like, but we used to hear all the commentators say that all the time. And thinking, then you see some, even just somebody who's not even top tier drivers from Australia, like guys who've been brought up on the V8s in Australia, those kind of drivers. They made an impression.
I know
as soon as
this
they
one
went to the
driver,
States.
Sean Van Gisbergen, that was good on the road courses in Alaska last year.
Yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen. He's according to the American drivers over there, he's just that's what they call an alien. That's how the American drivers view Shane SVG. He's a Kiwi, he's a New Zealander. He's not an Australian, but we claim him as one of our own because he's basically from down under. And the Kiwis are very proud New Zealanders. Like, man, if you ever want to see a country that punches above its weight, it's New Zealand. Anything that requires good, tough, hard men, New Zealand produces plenty of them. Man, they are a super competitive nation. For a tiny nation. Punch well above their weight. Well, I'll go for a look and see what's out there on the track. I got soft tyres on, haven't I? Yeah. I won't change. Go for a look, see what the weather's like. A little shitty, of course. So, how's the weather? Oh, it's clearing. Good. There's nothing behind it. So, I think about 4 or 5 minutes, and it should clear up nicely. I'll just go back in the pits and wait another couple of minutes. You've got to watch it. Basically, just got to look at the rain gauge over on the left-hand side there. Whilst Everett's got anything on there, nothing's going to happen. Just can't do anything. Well, certainly not in relation to doing quick times on the soft tyres. That's not happening. But we'll definitely get, as soon as this rain band goes, that we just need a few minutes for the track to dry out. Then we'll be back at it. I might have to have a look at the controllers plus. I might have to do a little bandaging on the steering wheel too. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do a little repair work. Actually, that's probably what I'll do, because it's going to be another 5 minutes till the track dries. So I'm just going to slip into the pits. I know this is boring as shit, guys. So don't blame me for going and doing something else. I'm just going to slip into the pits, pull the wheel off, bandage it up a bit. And yes, I can afford another wheel. And yes, I've got another brand new wheel behind me, but I don't like those wheels. I love the Fanatec DD Pro wheel. And even though this is my second one that I've absolutely completely destroyed. And yeah, I know this when you look at it and you can hang on. You can see it's all bandaged up and banged up, and so are my thumbs, and all inside in there is like hard edge plastic that just tears through your skin, because all this cushioning rubber stuff that stuff wears completely off until it's gone, and you're just left with this hard as fuck plastic. And all of this stuff seems just to dissolve. And even though I wear gloves, it just wears off and goes all black, and I think it just sort of like decomposes to some degree. And yeah, I know you can get them all fixed and redone, and there are all sorts of different kinds of tapes to use. And will I get them? Fuck yeah, at some stage I'll probably get around to doing that. But the thing is that when I bandage it up,
I've got the Thrustmaster TGT.
oh, Thrustmaster. Actually, my son just got, he just got, he's only just started playing, and I think he's got a Thrustmaster as well. I think he just bought that. Oh, he got it for Christmas from his partner. Very thoughtful woman. Never an easy exercise, this, and I'm very unky, so it'll probably turn out poxy no matter what I do. Yeah, it's really cutting like shit into my hands. But there's nothing happening on the track at the moment because the track is still wet. So it's an opportune time to do something. Put a bit more bandage on the old girl. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on now, touch me, babe. Can't you see that I am not afraid? Or was that promise that you made? I nearly got it around without boiling it up and ruining it. That's probably not a bad effort for me, though, to get about halfway around before I totally destroyed the new bit of tape and curled it over on itself. Of course, once a sticky bit sticks to itself, everything's shit after it, isn't it? It's all downhill. Fuck. This is never going to work. Oops, yeah. Bit more damage there. I might put the wheel on them, might make it a little easier for that bit. Yeah, just got to do a little more bandaging. But I tell you, it fucking ripped into my hand. I do have to get it all. I'll take it to, I'll probably end up taking, I've got a couple of these Fanatec wheels, these DD Pro ones that came with the DD Pro. Actually, the reason I've got this particular wheel is I wore my first wheel out. And of course, I got on the website and went, oh, I'll just order another wheel because I've worn this one through. And they said, oh, you can't have one. You have to buy the whole package to get that wheel because it only comes. I went, really? And after about 3 seconds thought, I went, I'll have the whole Fanatec DD Pro package because I wanted another wheel. So, and this is that wheel. So it's worn out now too, and I can't buy another DD Pro. I'm not going to have three of them, just to get another wheel. So I just keep bandaging this one up, and I am going to take it along to somebody to get it fixed. Because it won't be appropriate for the new studio. How's the weather looking? Oh, the rain's nearly all gone. Track's nearly dried up. Doesn't feel too bad though. Still a bit slippery. Oh man, I don't like that. I don't think I like my controller settings very much. What I'm going to do, look at my controller settings. Yeah, none of it feels right. Oh, don't press retry. Oh, that feels awful. Not enough. It is not angry enough. All right. Controller has to go up again. Too soft. Trouble is, it hurts like fuck on the thumb, on my left thumb. Actually, in there. Guy's a genius through there. How did you do that? Interesting. Oh, fuck, I don't even... So distracted. I was trying to figure out what sort of car it was and I forgot to put the brakes on. Right, I'm going to roll a smoke. Clearly, actually, I'm going to roll a joint. I'm going to roll a joint. In fact, just about dried out perfectly. As soon as it clears up a bit more, it'll be better. It actually seems quite overcast too. But I might as well take this opportunity to roll a. They forced me to buy these little thin filters, so of course, it's kind of making me more frugal with with the premium. They're substantially thinner, like little cigarellos or whatever you want to call them, like little thin little cigarettes. It's like about twice the size of a matchstick, mind you. The flavour is not affected. It still smells good. Oh, yep, yep, yep. Mm. Hello, old friend. The herb, superb. Mouthful of rum and coke. Let the pain begin. Where are we? Right, here we are. Right, man, oh man. Probably have to do oil too and all that by now. Fuck. All right, away we go. Oh, that's still not hard enough. Well, let's have him. Fuck it. Let's really hurt shit. Let's fuck stuff up. Oh, this is gonna fucking. This is gonna hurt. Where is he? There he is. This is not gonna be pleasant. Get more control, but with more pain. Fuck, I need a new thumb. shit, that's awful. You fucking coward. Gotta get better. Need more aggression. Definitely need more aggression. Gotta attack it more fiercely. Nearly. Awful. Ah, yuck. Yuck. Missed it by about 3 yards, 3 meters. And we're just going to hit that fence. And there is no power on earth that's going to stop me. I am just going to stand on the brakes. I'm going to hit continue, but we are going to hit the fence. Or not.
Nice way to set a fastest lap either way. Turning forces feedback up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. 31, that's slightly better, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Actually, I did just roll this joint, so, and I've only had 2 tokes out of it. It's gone out. We'll get back to it in a second. But that's 35 laps, and I'm thinking that it's already got worn oil
or the rum.
Or the rum. The rum's good. The rum is good. It's very good. And there's enough
face with tears of joy or smoke dashing away.
Yeah, there's enough for more too. There's enough for another one. Yep, or 2. It's not a great time or anything, but like it's barely faster than what I was doing on medium, so it's kind of embarrassing, to be honest, because I'm not getting this part right. I'm very slow here, but of course, the penalties are very severe if you stray too much outside the line. You can't really stray outside the line. But I've been very slow in certain parts, just not very committed. Basically weak. Like some of my exit speeds have been just really super poor. And it's not like it's rocket science or anything. Most of it's pretty meat and potatoes, but this is tough.
Does the World Championship Round 2 start today?
The which one? Does it? Yeah, I think on the Australian server it does. In about 10 hours or 5 hours. I don't know actually. I'll have to actually check that out because yeah, my Australian account is after getting drunk the other night, I managed to wreck the A account and make it back to B again. But we'll get there.
Your Australian account should be starting soon.
Oh, right, yeah. It probably, I don't know what time of the day they do it, but I will have a look. I can change account. And the thing is that I'll give it one more go at doing a decent time here. Then I'll have a look at changing the account to the Australian one to have a look. Because this one I'm sure needs to get the oils done and all that. Ah, jeez, you fucking donkey. You missed the apex and you fucking gone. I swear there's not enough feedback. I don't know. I'm still pissed at them for changing doing the whole suspension, not the suspension, the whole feedback thing. When they changed it a while, they've changed it a couple of times in the last year, and it's been, I don't know. I liked it when it was way more angry. There was a time, like 18 months ago, I couldn't have my control of force feedback would never be max force speed at 10. Like the most that I could hold on, like it would seriously injure you, but basically on 10. I would have it like 6 or 7 was like the maximum I ever got to on force feedback, and that was really strong, I felt. But up here was just be murderous, and I could barely turn the wheel. Terrible. And then suddenly, out of the blue, I had to fucking put it on 10 just to feel it, and everything went to shit after that. I really struggled with the when they changed the model or whatever it was. Anyway, I got to go and have a safety meeting, and I'm going to come back, change account, have a look to see on the Australian one, see when that's on, blah, 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 and get a drink. Be back in a couple of minutes. It'll only be 2. Oh, well, that was great. The air conditioner decided that it's going to freeze up. Tired of that air conditioner. I'm going to buy a new one. All right, time to exit. Definitely need some oil. I'll just check the oil. Oh, what's that? Oh, that weird thing at the bottom there. Actually, I haven't seen that before. I haven't looked at it. Yeah, it actually does look a little different. This diagram looks a bit different. 31.4. Yeah. I don't know what we ended up with. But, well, 31.8. Wasn't good no matter what. All right. More rum and coke? Yes, sir. Mm. Right. Go and check the oil on this one is 1800. That's in 9 hours. I'll just go and do the oil in this one, then I'll change. Oh, that's you. Yeah, that's the UK Father of Time one. So the Australian one might be on soon. Does it need oil? Did need a bit of an upgrade. Wasn't worn. Right now, I am going to say here now. I'm going to change accounts. They're both linked to YouTube. There shouldn't be any problem at all. Everything should work fine. However, if the stream should drop, I will say thank you very much, and I enjoyed your company, and thank you for popping in and the comments and all that. That's just in case it does go pear shaped. Oh man, right. I'm going to change. I'm going to change the account and have a look.
No worries.